and welcome to IATEFL Live. This is one of the pre-conference shows. This is your opportunity to find out more about the IATEFL conference in Brighton this year. And it is also a fantastic opportunity to just catch up with us, with our digital committee, what we've been up to, and what we will be doing. Now, in this show, we have got some very good news about our plenary speakers. We also have some great updates about the social program at the conference. And I cannot, of course, do this without Anka. Hello, Anka.
Hi.
Welcome back. How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm all right. I was going through some old photos from Brighton 2024 because I felt a little bit nostalgic. What is one of the things that stuck with you from the Brighton conference in 2024?
I think
Mhm.
for me, like you and Nikki've been doing this a bit longer, and I've been sort of new to the team. And I know the first time I went to an IATEFL, I knew nobody, and I was crazy overwhelmed, and I needed like years after that to. Also, we had COVID, but to sort of recuperate. And then I joined you guys, and I think Brighton for me was the first time that really feeling that vibe that everybody's always talking about, where you recognize people, you meet friends, and I don't know, it was just very social. It was a lot though.
That's
Like
true.
I remember our Brighton 2 years ago was really like the dinners, the breakfasts. We start really early because we're setting up the studio before the first plenary, so they were quite really long days. Um, but I loved
That's
it.
very true. Absolutely. And of course, this is what will be happening this year as well. We are growing bigger and we have got again our studio, we have got our social program. Now, I wrote this on LinkedIn. Usually during the IATEFL conference, we don't only have the talks and the plenaries and the workshops, we have got so many things going on. And one of the things that we have going on is the social program. And what I wrote on LinkedIn is that usually Anka, Nikki, and I don't really get to enjoy it because we're ready to go to sleep straight after the shows.
Oh yeah.
It
Well,
is, it is full on.
it looks fun, and it really is. But yeah, we have a long day. We start early. We're recording throughout the day. We're being like so. I'm quite the introvert, so I'm like the whole social day is already quite challenging for me. Then we have the 2 hours we go live. Somehow we need to eat, and that means we always miss out on socials.
That
Um,
is very, very
but
true.
the
But
ones I
this,
have done in the past, though, I love them. I really love them. And if you are staying close to the venue, there's really no reason why you shouldn't. Like,
absolutely.
grab a bite and just enjoy because they are that
Absolutely.
good. The vibe is even better than during the day, I'd
And
say.
this is when usually a lot of people socialize and they get to meet others. And I vividly remember in 2019 in Liverpool, I went to one of the social. I wasn't involved in the digital chair back then, but I went to one of the socials, which was the music night. And I remember that I cried my eyes out because it was so beautiful, so moving. I cannot stop thinking about it. I have some video somewhere which I need to find. So, Anka, are you ready to find out more about the social program this year?
Yes, can't wait. What are we
Let's do.
doing?
So, for people watching us from home, hello and welcome. For those of you joining us now, we are giving you the latest updates about the IATEFL conference in Brighton this year. And today we're focusing on the social program. Now, we have a lot of things happening apart from talks and workshops and plenary. So what we have is the evening social program. On Monday, the 20th of April, we have the welcome reception from 5:30 to 8 at the Grant. And this is sponsored by Pearson. This is one of my favorite events because you get to meet so many people. It's all of the hellos, nice to see you again. You kind of tick boxes who you've seen. And also, it is a very good opportunity to find out more about what's going to happen during the conference and throughout the conference.
And the Grand, that's the pretty fancy hotel next door, right?
It is indeed.
Then definitely go and check it out. Because if you're new to Brighton, Brighton is, well, I've heard some people describe it as former glory. It used to be the place where everybody fancy and modernization, and now it's fun and it's funky and it's great. But if you want to see that old glory of Brighton, the
Mhm.
Grand is like the place to be. I can pretty much afford a cup of tea there on a good day for the whole week. Maybe that's the one thing I'll get is a tea at the Grand. So if you have an excuse to go inside and feel very fancy and posh when you still feel very fresh and awake and posh, go.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
I couldn't agree more. And can I share an anecdote with everyone? I think that you must have been with me and Nikki. I don't remember exactly, but in Brighton 2024, it was Sean's last year as the chair of the digital committee before I took over.
Yes.
And he asked us to go to his room to grab one of the yellow vests, which we did. And it was at the Grand. And I remember us three walking around the Grand like it was the Titanic.
But it does have that vibe. It
Yes,
really
it
does have
does.
that vibe.
It's
Like
gorgeous.
it's seaside, not on sea, but other than that, it could totally be the Titanic. So, of course, go because it's sponsored by Pearson because you'll meet everybody who's anything in IATEFL because. But if you think I'm already doing all these intelligent things during the day, I just want something fun and fancy, definitely go to this one because Titanic vibes for sure. Without the thinking, obviously.
Exactly. And then, of course, Tuesday, 21st of April, after a very busy day, because we can guarantee that you will have a very, very busy day on day one, we have the introduction to Brighton at 6:45 to 7:45 at Syndicate 2, hosted by our very own Adam Scott, who is the Pronsy coordinator. And also, we have the music night from 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock. This is in Syndicate 1, and Jeremy Harmer is back. And then this is a great night to attend as well. Anka, have you attended any of the music nights?
I think so. I think it was the first thing I did as a social was the music night. And I have to say, I love it. I am not, well, I'm quite the bookish introvert. So I'm not really the person who says, let's go schmink my face, paint my face so that I look like some rock star and then fake guitar solo my way through a crowded room full of people watching me. Um, but it's so much fun when other people do. And I don't know, I love it. It's
I
the one that
agree.
if we can't go, I always feel bad about it. The other ones also, but this one is the one I think mostly, darn, I wish I could, would have gone. It's, yeah, I think
Absolutely.
it's the most fun.
And I'm really looking forward to Adam's introduction to Brighton as well, because Adam has got this really deep knowledge and energy, and I really want to see what this is about. So, yeah, let's see.
Well, you can't go wrong because Adam Scott, so you can't go wrong, but
Well,
also
exactly.
Brighton. I think if you have the privilege to travel and to travel for work or work related, it is your duty to make sure that you add cultural things and fun things. This is why I think you have to go shopping. This is why you need to know Brighton, not because, well, of course, you need to know Brighton because it's Brighton, but mostly because you have that privilege, then you need to fully be aware of it and to hear the ins and outs of it. Oh yeah, important.
And this is how you get to experience the whole conference through culture as well. And this brings me to Wednesday, 22nd of April, when we have our wonderful storytellers, David and Harry, who are our permanent guests also in the conference shows. They always come, they always light up our shows as well. And they have got always some fantastic stories to share.
Oh yeah, the last couple of years, I've been lucky to be able to interview them, and I think now I'll just claim tradition and say sorry, Georgia and Nikki, but they're mine. I'm going to interview them. They're so much fun, and honestly, every year so far, I've heard people cry. It's
Yeah.
not just like good storytelling's interesting, but it's so beautiful. It actually people cry. Plural,
It,
as in more than not just a crazy person in the corner, but like people, plural, groups of people cry.
yes, it's
I think it's one of
beautiful.
the most beautiful things that we do have as our socials.
Now, I want to also say hello to Gemma, who says Wednesday night is also the Pronsic 40th birthday party, 7 p.m. till midnight. Gemma, this is wonderful. Thank you for joining us, and thank you for telling us about the Pronsic party. Anka, I think that we have to go.
Yeah, yep,
We
we do,
need to.
we do.
Gemma,
I
we'll
hope
see
it,
you
it
there.
combines it combines well with the music night. I hope.
Oh, yes, and Gemma, we can dance and sing. Just say the word. Both Anka and me and Nikki. Excellent. We'll celebrate.
She
Brilliant.
can dance and sing.
And Gemma says there will be food, drink, music, and dancing. So that's an
Come in.
opportunity not to be missed. Now, and finally, on Thursday, 23rd of April, we have the international quiz at 7:45 until 10 o'clock in Syndicate 1 and 2, which is sponsored by International House World Organization. So this is another hit social program activity. A lot of people love it, and a lot of people attend the international quiz. I usually avoid it for one reason, because I am clueless. I'll tell you this funny story. Once I went to a pub night with some friends of mine, and there was this question about ancient Greece, and you would expect that I would know the answer. It turns out I didn't. So yes, but I will go to the international quiz because it's a good opportunity to just work with others. As we usually say to our students, don't be afraid of making mistakes. Just go, enjoy participating, and just getting to know people.
What I love about this setup is that if you're a newcomer or you're not swept away by knowing everybody already, the first two nights are a bit like you can passively enjoy also. You can get to know people, but Thursday, you kind of need to participate. And that's good
Absolutely.
because also Friday is already the end. So that's the last night. That's the last chance to do any of the social program. So it's a good one, and it's good to end with an interactive one.
That is so true. Now, of course, apart from the social program, as we said before, Brighton is full of life. But because before we talk about Brighton, just some information about luggages and new rules. First of all, let me explain some things about the luggage here that you see. This is my luggage from last year. Anka, can you guess in which suitcase my clothes were and which suitcase the equipment for the studio were?
That's a trick question. I
Mhm.
mean, you always look fabulous, so of course the bigger one would have to be clothes, but also I'm hoping the bigger one is for the studio equipment.
And that is correct. Yeah. So the big one was all of the equipment for the studio. And then that tiny one I had all of my shoes. And then that's that. But the reason why we're mentioning this is because conference venues are changing the rules on delegates being able to bring their luggage with them to the venue. And this is because of health and safety reasons, especially during big events like IATEFL. And this is a new rule introduced throughout the UK. So If you want to bring your suitcases in the venue, please avoid doing so. Instead, you can ask your hotel if they can keep hold of your luggage to collect when the conference finishes. If this is not possible, there are a number of companies offering luggage storage. And some companies offering this service in Brighton are the ones that you see here on the screen. So please remember, please do not bring your luggage at the conference venue. This is a new rule that has been applied throughout the UK.
And good, I imagine, because I remember last year we were still allowed to do this. And I think a lot of people think, I'll take my suitcase, I'll go the last morning, and then I'm off home. So I'll bring my suitcase. But we had that massive hallway, the second hallway. So you had the first hallway where there was the coffee and the entrance and everything. And then you had a second hallway, and it was completely filled with suitcases because everybody's always thinking the same brilliant thing, which means that we're not talking about one or two suitcases, but hundreds of them. And they're not insured. So it's a bit like leaving them on the street because there's hundreds and hundreds of people going through them, walking past them and picking them up. So aside from space and safety, which I totally get, I think it's good because hotels usually have this. You pay to stay at the hotel. They have that service and they'll watch your bag for you and they'll make sure it's safe. If not, the insurance is worth it. Think of all the good shopping you can do in Brighton and good shopping in Brighton. You want to take that home. You don't want to have that stolen on the last day before you go home.
Definitely. And then, of course, Brighton has got some wonderful opportunities for all of us to enjoy, not only the conference, but the whole city as well. Of course, what we would encourage you to do is go a little bit sightseeing from the Royal Pavilion to the Brighton Palace Pier as well. This is a truly vibrant city. There are so many things to do. And of course, IATEFL delegates can benefit from special discounts around the city by just showing their delegate badge. You can go to the visitbrighton.com website to find out more about the different deals that are there in the city. Okay, so Anka, this week, before we continue with updates about the conference, this week, let me remove this. We also have the honor to introduce our plenary speakers.
Yes.
Now, the plenaries are brilliant this year. Well, every year I enjoy the themes, the international speakers that we have. I enjoy all of the ideas at the very start of the day. The plenary sessions are the ones that I never miss, to be honest.
They set the tone, and I think what I love about the conference is that everybody has their own interests, and you can pick your own program and you can put it together so that your interests are highlighted. The plenaries are picked because they're things that we all need to hear, and they apply to everybody, and they're interesting for everybody, and they're just the perfect way to start your day.
Absolutely. And even with topics that you might not be familiar with, they give you ideas and they broaden your horizons. They inspire you as well about what's happening in our industry. And this is what's happening with the plenaries this year as well. So this year, we are starting with a recorded message from Laura Patsko, who is one of our plenary speakers. Ready, Andra?
Yes.
Let's go.
Hello, my name is Laura Patsko, and I'll be giving the morning plenary at the IATEFL conference on Friday, the 24th of April. My career in ELT started over 20 years ago now, first with a bachelor's in linguistics, and then a CELTA and a Delta, and later a master's in ELT and applied linguistics. Coincidentally, studying on the very same course as another one of this year's plenary speakers. So it really is a small world, and the ELT world is even smaller. I've also been involved with IATEFL for a number of years. If you've heard my name before, it could be because I used to edit the journal of the Pronunciation Special Interest Group, or the Pronsig, or it might be because you attended a workshop or a talk that I gave at a past IATEFL conference. When I summarize it all like that, that sounds like a very nice, neat, organized career path. But actually, these days, I do quite a range of different things. So I still do some teaching and some training. And I also do a variety of other projects, like research projects or learning experience design, which is about drawing on learnings and insights from a huge range of areas and even different disciplines to make the whole experience of learning and teaching as good as it can be for everybody involved. Now, some people call this a portfolio career, or I prefer the term squiggly career because it doesn't follow a clear straight line. And I find it interesting that that's not generally an option that's presented to new teachers because it's hard to define and to predict and to write a job description for. But I actually think it's a really fun and dynamic and creative way to spend a lifetime of work. Because it's really great to try a huge range of different things and to be learning all the time, and not just by yourself, but with everyone around you, and to be able to connect what you've learned in one context when you're working in another. That's where real creativity and imagination and innovation comes from. So this is what I'm going to be talking about at this year's IATEFL conference. I will share some of the most interesting and surprising things that I've learned so far in my squiggly career. And I hope that some of them will also be interesting or surprising and certainly useful and relevant to you too, as I often find that something that you learn at one point can surprise you with how transferable and relevant and interesting it is even years later in a different context. So if that sounds interesting to you, then I hope to see you on Friday morning, the 24th of April at this year's IATEFL conference.
And that was one of our plenary speakers, Laura Patsko, who is delivering her plenary on Friday morning. And I'm really looking forward to this. That sounded really, really interesting.
Me too. This is what I meant with this applies to everybody because squiggly careers, I think they happen. And it is not the job description, but about our job that I heard someone say the other day that, with pension ages moving up, if you graduate and get a job in your 20s and you have to work until your 70s, you'll be doing the same thing for 50 years. And in our job, ELT, it's like, that's never going to happen. And every 5 or 10 years, you can do different directions and you can do different things. And I love that.
Absolutely. It's a very interesting idea, really.
Oh, yeah, because we always talk about, you need to have a plan. You need to have ambition. You need to know where you're going. But I don't know, I'm quite inspired already by the idea, let alone by the talk.
It is very interesting because when we arrange these pre-conference interviews with the plenary speakers, we always ask them to not reveal too much. But it really is my impatience now thinking, but I really want to know more.
I do.
And now, Chris in the comments reminds us that plenaries are usually available to watch online later, which is true. So every day, this wonderful digital committee brings you the plenary sessions every day at 6 p.m. So this is when we get the recordings from the conference venue and we upload them on YouTube for you to watch as well. So please watch this space. This is what we will be bringing to you. They're very interesting to watch. Sometimes I do go and rewatch the plenary sessions because during the conference, we're also busy. We have so many ideas. And I sometimes use the plenaries while getting ready for work, for instance, so that I can reevaluate what I've heard.
I do that too. It's like, I'm sorry, but social activities, I'm like exhausted by the end of the week. So I'll go, I'll take it in, and then I'll watch back when I need it to apply to something, or I need to, I don't know, when I'm awake enough to take notes and sort of use it.
That's
But
very
yeah,
true. Yeah.
you can watch them back 6 o'clock Friday. So if you've had too many late nights with all the socials, you can sleep in. Please don't, though. Memory holes are full, but you can sleep in and watch it later. And I think you can even watch them later. So it's not live stream. You have to watch at 6. I think you can watch it day later as well, or on your way home, download them and watch them then. Like there's options.
Yes, absolutely. And of course, because some people messaged me after our live show on Thursday, just a reminder about our registrations. Remember, the online registration closes on the 8th of April. Booking online is definitely faster. And the only thing that you need to do if you book online is to come to the venue on Monday or Tuesday, show your email receipt, and collect your badge. Now, if you're not able to pay online, that's not a problem at all. You can come to the TEALS straight away upon arrival. We will have a lot of volunteers, a lot of IATEFL trustees, people who will guide you as to which queue to follow. And of course, both Anka and I will be there to guide you and to, just take you where you need to be.
Definitely. And entertain you if you do happen to be in the queue, because there will be queues on Tuesday morning.
What do you mean by entertaining? Are we going to dance? I thought we were dancing at
I
the
think
Prom 640th.
I think we need to save that for the Prom 640th, because
Yes,
we might
probably.
scare people away if we do that Tuesday morning.
That's very, very true. Now, of course, some more information about the registration. Don't worry if you miss the deadline of the 8th of April to book online. It's absolutely fine. We are here for you. You can still register on site at the venue. You can complete the form in the foyer, so that's absolutely fine, and you can pay at the TEALS. Now, of course, this is going to make the process of the conference take a little bit longer for you, but don't worry. If you can book online, fantastic, great news. If you prefer to book at the conference venue, that's no problem at all. Of course, a little bit of a pro tip. Anka, do you want to say the pro tip?
You mean that if you're not a member yet, you should really, really become one?
Yes, please.
And really do, because even if you're thinking, I'm not sure if this is my kind of thing, it is sometimes cheaper to join first and then book the conference, but it's never more expensive. And you can do a conference, but why just have the 4 days, 5 days when you'll be completely exhausted and overwhelmed with all the information, when you can have a year-long subscription that allows you to read the magazines, to listen back to all the webinars, all the archives, everything else. It seems weird not to. So it's not just a pro tip. It's like, it's odd. If you go for a day, then you'll be cheaper off. But if you're going for the whole week, you'll be the same price. So really, really, do it.
Absolutely. And then, of course, finally, during the IATEFL conference in Brighton this year, don't forget that Tuesday morning is one of the busiest mornings during the conference. The registration opens at 7:30 on Tuesday, 21st of April, and please expect queues. It is a better idea if you're in Brighton on Monday. Please come to the venue on Monday, 20th of April from 10 o'clock in the morning. You can collect your badge, your bag, and be ready for Tuesday to rock and roll. Of course, on Monday, both Anka and I and Nikki, all three of us, we will be at the studio trying to set everything up and be ready to welcome you at our studio. And of course, don't forget that if you're not able to make it at the conference this year, don't worry. We've got you. Throughout the conference, Nikki, Anka, and myself, we're running the IATEFL live shows. Anka, what do we do during the shows?
What don't we do during shows? Well, the main thing, of course, is that we'll interview speakers. So we have the plenaries at the end, and the big names that everybody always wants to see. But we always also interview delegates with really interesting workshops, really interesting stories, who have the time to come and so interviews with key voices in ELT for sure. Updates from the conference. We'll be running around with our cameras the whole conference, the whole day, and we'll show you at night, feels like night, in the afternoon. New products, new publications, plenaries are there, and we're always trying to bring our own touch or focus. And this year, I think all three of us are very focused on mental health and sanity. So we'll definitely be making sure that our studio is, I don't know, a craft studio, or if you have good ideas, please put them in the comments. We're still very much brainstorming and shopping for that 1 week, but think about what you'd like to find in the studio, and we'll make sure it's there. Well,
As Anka said,
that's a big promise, but we'll try.
as Anka said, there will be a lot of guest speakers, there will be a lot of exhibitors, a lot of people with news from ELT, and we will have little activities for anyone who just wants to come and relax with us. Now, please bear in mind that sometimes the studio, like especially in the mornings, the studio is not open. So it's usually after 12 or 1 o'clock when we're there, and we go live at 2 o'clock. So please bear that in mind. Please not think that we are not there. It's just that we usually roam around the venue to try and get videos from the delegates and attend 1 or 2 sessions that we might have time for as well. This year as well, we're bringing information about the Brighton opportunities, also sustainability opportunities, and finally some online games that you can play with us. So they're going to be quite interactive for all of you as well. And finally, stay connected. We love hearing about your experience from the conference. Whether you're able to attend or not, please use the hashtag IATEFL 2026. Whatever you learn online, whatever posts you see, you reshare. It is a good idea to reshare them on your social media so that we are able to learn from you as well. Because, of course, we cannot be in the same place or in different places all at once. So this is why we we rely on everyone to share their experience.
And really, please do. I know everybody's saying it these days, like use this hashtag and post online. And yes, it will also make me feel way more cool and popular than I am if I see myself or our live stream tagged somewhere. But that's not why you're doing this. IATEFL is also a charity. Algorithms work a certain way. And the only way that IATEFL gets the attention and you'll get to see other hashtags is because people share. So please do.
Mm-hmm. Now, Xana is asking, could it be online as well? No, Xansa, I'm sorry if I'm not reading your name correctly. The IATEFL conference is in person, but there are opportunities to find out content online. The plenary sessions are going to be broadcast every day, so you will not miss out on those. And also, we will have the IATEFL live shows through which you can find out more about different sessions that took place. And finally, of course, let's not forget that in November, some of the sessions that are presented at the IATEFL Brighton conference are rerun or presented again at the IATEFL Themes Conference in November. So there are opportunities to get in touch with the conference, with the in-person conference. So we are here for you. The digital committee is here for you. Okay, I think Anka, that was a lot of information for today.
It really was. But if you list it like that, we're actually doing a lot online. It's not just us, the live streams, but if you can't attend, you can attend the Monday with any of our pre-conference events, with any of our special interest groups. Then Tuesday till Friday, there's the live stream. So we'll keep you updated on what's happening. Then there is later in the year the Teams conference, where you'll see the, I don't want to say highlights, as if you don't make it to the Teams conference, you weren't a highlight, but they are based on reviews, hashtags, reviews, and things you filled in. So the ones that did a lot of talk, and the ones that you really shouldn't have missed, are the ones that you can actually attend online.
Amazing.
So there is so much.
Yes. Now, of course, we will see you all tomorrow. So tomorrow at 2 p.m., we will bring you information about the conference again, updates, and we will have one plenary speaker who comes to join us for a live interview as well. Watch this space. There will be another social media post later today. And Anka, that's it for today.
That's it for today, but we'll be here tomorrow.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for joining us today. And
Thank
we
you.
will see you tomorrow for more updates. Bye, everybody.
Bye.